you. All right, welcome everybody to the next episode 57 of Wrestling News.
Noke, Wrestling News.
Yeah.
We always say it. Sponsored by.
I'm sponsored by. I'm all
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all messed up because you guys told me I can't say podcast.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
yeah. Well,
So-
it just becomes a podcast. So,
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, welcome. Thanks for joining us. This week we got regional week actually, but
Yep.
before we get to that, we'll talk about the last the last couple weeks.
Yeah, since
Yep.
Odax 2
Since
weeks
the
ago.
ODAX,
So.
yeah, you guys have been
Been hitting it hard.
hitting it hard
Yeah, this
and
week.
healing and
Yeah,
resting
yeah.
and
That was
all of those things.
it really last. The right after Odax took a little time off, and then you got a pretty hard training phase in, and then now this week's just about making sure we're good to go, and I feel really good about where we're at. So.
Yeah, talk about what does you guys have midterms, right? Everybody's
Yep.
going through midterms.
Yeah, unfortunately, midterms kind of fell on this week, which is which obviously, for us, most of our guys do a really good job, and we're not overly worried about it. So, yeah, these guys are finishing up. I know I talked to a few guys today, and yeah, I think one guy had tests today, another guy has tests tomorrow, and then they're pretty much done. They can turn their focus to regional. So, but
Does
yeah,
that throw a curveball into the mix, or
it does, but the way I look at it is most people are in the same boat. I mean, obviously some people might have midterms after this weekend, some may have the weekend before. As long as you're on top of your score, because we try to coach our guys through, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But and it's just midterms. If it's finals, it'd be a little different. Yeah, most of our guys do a really, really phenomenal job, especially the 10 guys that are going to regionals. They do a really good job academically, so I'm not overly concerned. I think a little adversity is sometimes good, right? So you kind of you have to show your mettle a little bit, and we have some tough guys, so I'm not overly concerned.
Yeah, so with training these past 2 weeks, I mean, we're into the postseason now. Does the room look a little different? Like, you guys carry a lot of guys on the team.
Sure, yeah.
Did you guys cut it down to
We did.
obviously your starters, but also some drill partners as well?
Sure, yep. We tell everybody to be ready. Actually, the guys that really right after the I'm not even sure what the Ober tournament. Really after that, a lot of guys got 2 weeks off. The guys that weren't in the lineup, right? Or really the first and second string guys stuck around and will continue to train. The rest of the guys, they got a break, a 2-week break, and now they're actually back in it. This is the week number 2 of them being back into it, lifting weights 3 days a week and drilling 2 days a week. And then we'll probably add a few more things onto that. So the rest of we try to keep the room somewhat lighter so guys aren't running into each other, and it gives the young guys an opportunity, to heal up and to kind of catch their breath, because they've been we've been nonstop since school started. So some of those guys really needed that break, and kind of reassess things too. Some guys just needed to do some soul searching and decide if this is for them, right? So, and I think time will tell, but it's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun. You can really zero in on guys too, and really get to know them and spend some time with them. And I really enjoy this time of year with the guys.
Along with training these past 2 weeks, I'm sure you guys have been doing a lot of recovery. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys had massages yesterday.
Yeah, they had massages yesterday, and yeah, they did. That's always they always look forward to that. I think so. The assistants got massages. Colin and Blake got massages there. And,
I definitely look forward to that.
Yeah. So we use a masseuse named Kelly Hale. Shout out to Kelly. My Jack and Nick, my twins, are actually visiting her right now. Get a massage before their state tournament, and little self care, and I mean, I think it's I think it makes guys feel a little special too, and makes them feel good. And listen, at this point, it's all mental, right? So whatever it takes for them to feel good and go out there and perform at their very best. We're gonna do everything we can to help them get there.
So it also talk about a little bit about recruiting.
Yeah,
because you were able to get on the trail a little bit and kind of get some.
Was really looking forward to it. This past weekend, I was hoping Virginia State tournament would be happening. Obviously, they moved that to this coming weekend, which sucks. But North Carolina State tournament. I went down there for the finals on Monday night. They moved their state tournament too. They usually go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This year they moved it to because of the weather, supposedly Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I know Blake went down. Coach Rosenbaum went down the couple of days or a day before that.
Yeah.
And then Colin and Blake earlier in the week they went up to the national prep tournament. So shout out to Caleb Haney, a commit for us, 125, 133 eventually probably for us. he ended up taking seventh or eighth place.
Yeah, eighth.
Eighth, yep, took eighth place out there, and so he's a prep All-American. Really proud of him. Excited to get him on campus.
Private school state champ.
Yep, St. Chris
St.
first.
Chris.
Yep,
St.
St. Chris. Yep. So, shout out to Tommy Owen. We finally got a St. Chris boys, so appreciate it. So they went to the preps, and we're recruiting a few kids up there too that we really really like, and a few juniors as well too. So it was good for those guys to go up there. They came back the next day. Blake went down to the North Carolina State tournament, and then I went on Monday and got to watch. We have 6 guys that have committed so far. We're recruiting 3 or 4 more from North Carolina, and we had Troy Shannon from Sanford High School. He ended up finishing 4th place. And Dontrell Williams from Union Pines. He ended up finishing 5th place. And then we had Joe Lloyd. Didn't have his best tournament, but we really look forward to getting him on campus from Union Pines as well. Then we had 3 finalists. It's fun to watch those guys. Sebastian Rivera from Panther Creek. He had a guy that was 53-0 that committed to Ohio University. And I think the kid somebody said he had 48 pins on the year. The dude's a stud. I mean, the dude was huge. I mean, he had to cut weight to make heavyweight. I guarantee it. Sebastian was 35-0, and that was kind of like the match. And they actually pinned Sebastian last year. So it was that was kind of the match a lot of people were looking forward to in North Carolina. And Sebastian pinned him in a minute. So it was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, we got OW the tournament, undefeated this year, and he's only been wrestling. This is his 3rd year wrestling.
Yeah.
So he's a pretty special guy. We're really looking forward to getting him on campus
What
this fall. Heavyweight.
Oh, heavyweight.
Yeah. So really athletic kid. Again, still learning the sport. He had to really dig deep in a semifinal match. Had a really tough match. I think he got taken down. He was losing by 1, I believe, with 20 seconds to go. He Graham beat out to get the escape, and then in overtime got to take down to win the match. So, and I told his coach afterwards. Shout out to Coach Irving. I told him afterwards, hey, good thing you learned a Granby, you know? And he's like, listen, we've never won over a Granby. So I was like, oh, man, holy smokes. So he showed some guts there. So I appreciate that. So
He's from Honduran. He's in Honduran.
Honduran, yeah. Yep. So, yeah, we're his mom's awesome, you know. A shout to his mom and just a good family. So
Yeah,
really excited.
6 years ago. That's
Wow,
why we haven't been here that long yet.
Yeah.
So,
They've
they
been
love it,
wrestling
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's giant, man. And we're looking forward to him. He's gonna be a special kid, I think. So, 190 in 3A from Union Pines again. We have 3 Union Pines kids coming in next year. Brock Sullivan, we're really excited about Brock. I mean, he really just dominated his whole way through. I think he tech fall, pin in the finals, and just the last 2 years, he's been. I think he's only lost 3 matches or 4 matches the last 2 years. Just been dominating and really excited to get him on campus. So great kid, great family. Family's awesome. Shout out to Trip Sullivan, who ended up finishing 3rd. So he did his younger brother did a great job as a sophomore. Looking forward, to maybe making a family affair down here. So and then the last champ was Jackson Raleigh. He won it at 150. I mean, he just. Every match I watched him, he just got better and better and better and better. And in the finals, he was all over this kid. Ended up getting the fall. I mean, I think he was up 12-0 when he got the fall. Just overall unbelievable year for him, and he's gonna be a pretty special kid too. North Carolina's been really good to us, man. We've been this year. I mean, it's taken a few years. We've had to plant a lot of seeds, and it finally is really paying off. And this year just exploded. And so, shout out to Coach Hickey and those guys at Raw and North Carolina United. They've done a great job of cultivating partnerships down there with other clubs and that whole North Carolina. I was really impressed with North Carolina wrestling, to be honest with you. That was the best North Carolina State tournament. I've been going for years, the best one I've ever seen. So shout out to those guys, and hopefully it continue to pay off for us as well too.
So real quick, Union Pines, notice you guys have a lot of guys from there. They were at a team camp. They were at team camp.
We had Brian Gray, the head coach, on a podcast the very first part of the year. Yeah, they won the team camp, and they just won the state title. They won the state dual title, so they cleaned house. And they actually didn't even, to be honest, they didn't even have a really good state tournament. They didn't have a great state tournament.
Yeah.
But they had some kids that I think they thought were going to go on the stand and didn't. A couple kids that didn't make the state tournament they thought they would.
Missing one of the best guys.
Yeah.
I got stuff at the regional, and he probably would have won it.
Yeah, you would have been state champ. So,
Yeah.
they won by 30 points, I think, 35
Yeah.
points. They would have. So they got a good team returning. They lose a lot. Obviously, the 3 guys who we're getting, and then another guy, Finn McCafferty. They lose, but they get a pretty good crew back. They're gonna be good. So,
All right, so let's take a quick commercial, and we'll come back and we'll go through the preview for the
Yep.
regional.
I heard you died twice. Once when they bury you in the grave, and the second time is the last time that somebody mentions your name. So when I leave here on this earth, did I take more than I gave? Did I look out for the people, or did I do it all for fame? Legend is exodus, searching for euphoria, judging through the mud to find the present, no ignoring us. 20,000 deep up in the street like we some warriors. My mama told me never bow your head. Whoa.
I feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again. I was born for this, born for this. So I am
Pretty mad in my
I
opinion.
made it through the darkest part of the night, and now I see
And y'all are family.
sunrise. Now I feel
That's a wrap. 2024 Noke Team Camp.
he's done.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Coach, so let's preview before we give weight by weight preview, we're going to preview the conference real
Yep.
quick.
Yep.
So 17, I mean,
Yeah.
in the regional, is
Yeah,
it?
there's 20 teams in our region.
Okay.
There's 7 regions throughout the country. We added a region this year. I mean, Division III wrestling is growing like crazy. I think we're up to 128 teams next year. I think they're like 125 right now. So it's growing pretty, which is a great thing, right? So it's getting more competitive too, and I think a lot of kids see the benefit of Division III wrestling, and yeah, it's been fun to watch. You know, our region is made up of really 3 conferences. The ODAC conference, obviously with the teams in the ODAC, us included. The OAC, the Ohio Athletic Conference, which is some of the better teams in that one are historically Baldwin Wallace, Ohio Northern, Mount Union. There's Heidelberg, always pretty good, and they have some other new teams in there as well too. Then the last one's the PAC, the President's Athletic Conference, I think is what it's called. And that's Washington, Jefferson, Waynesburg, basically the Pittsburgh area and north of that. So Thiel,
St. Vincent.
St. Vincent, yeah. So I think there's 4 or 5 schools in that one. So so that's Hiram is in there now too, I think as well. And so it's made up of really 3 conferences. They try to keep the conference teams together, which is why the region looks a little weird. Like you kind of go up to Pittsburgh and then across to Ohio.
Not really Southeast anymore.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
Region 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Region
And this is the first time that you've wrestled within this region. That
Yeah,
you
yeah.
redid everything.
It's
correct?
basically, I would say it's really 2 regions combined. We lost some teams too, though.
Yeah,
The teams
right.
on the outlier teams we lost. There's really two regions that combined. To make one. So I mean, I like where we're at. I mean, it's a little bit of a top heavy region, meaning there's really there's like 4 teams that I think will take 95% of all the bids, right? So there's gonna be 30 bids. You have to place top 3 in your weight class. So 30 bids go to the national tournament, and I would venture to say that the top 4 teams will probably take 27 of them, 26 of them maybe. So it's just, like I said, very top heavy. So
I mean, thinking of the top teams, Roanoke's probably up there, but Baldwin Wallace, Ohio
Correct.
Northern.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Ohio Northern's got, I think they're starting 9 seniors or 8 seniors. So they kind of circled this year to be with their year, and then you got Baldwin Wallace, obviously, and they just had a very tight duel a few weeks ago. I think it came down to the last match, or the second last match or something. But so Baldwin Wallace, I mean, they're going to be, they're probably the favorites. They're 5th in the country right now. They have a couple really, really high ranked kids. Beginning with Petrella at 157, who's a 2-time national champ already and hasn't lost 100 matches.
6-0.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So he's pretty incredible. And then their 33 was their national run up last year. He's back as well too, and we'll be the top seed at that weight, 133. So obviously I think we're a little more well rounded, but we got some guys that, besides Mark Samuel, that haven't proved a lot at the national level yet. So, but I think we're ready to break out. So I'm excited.
So I would also say that you're battle tested within the region. So
Sure.
you-
Yeah.
the way you've kind of wrestled your matches, like the places.
Yeah.
and
We've seen most
tournaments.
teams, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we haven't dueled every team, but we've seen a lot of teams. The only one we actually really haven't seen was Baltimore Wallace. And one of the reasons why we wanted to go wrestle at the Nashville tournament, the Gator Duels, is because Baltimore Wallace, we wrestled them last year there, and they were pegged to go there again this year, and then at the last minute they decided not to. I can't remember. I talked to Coach Gibbs about it, the head coach at Baltimore Wallace. They just kind of had to pull out at the last minute. So, but yeah, we were set to see all those teams, and then So, but we're this has been the hardest schedule we've ever had, and the guys are definitely battle tested. So, I think David Reed, I think we counted the other day. I think he's wrestled 8 guys in the top 15 in the country this year. So.
Jeez.
It's like 3 and 4. He's beaten 3 of them, lost to 3 or 4 of them, something like that. So, he's done well. So,
And so, real quick before we go to commercial, so let me get my math straight. So there's seven regions.
right. Yep.
Top 3 from each region.
Yep. Top 3.
So you have a 21-man bracket going into the
Last year we had 18, right? And then so there's 2 pigtail matches, right? 2 preliminary matches. And this year now we have, I think what 5 now? 5 preliminary matches.
Right.
So, yeah, it's good. I mean, I think we're trending toward a Division III model, which is 32 qualifier or 33 qualifiers. We'll see if that shakes out, but I think we're probably trending toward that.
Okay.
It's good. We're years down the road from that, though. Right. So.
Right. So, all right. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll do those weight previews.
Killer, it's the off season. Let's keep it tall. Y'all ain't f***ing with my man. And don't check your watch. You know the time. Cold World, Killer Cam. This finish.
This too easy for me now. Cole been going black since back when CDs was around. What you sold, I tripled that. I can't believe these clowns. Look how everybody clapping when your 30 song album do a measly 100,000. If I'm betting on myself, then I completely double down. If you hated on a please don't greet me with a pound. I'll be staying out the way, but if the beef do come.
Right.
All right, welcome back, guys. All right, Coach, let's go through that weight by weight preview. So at 125, we've got who's
We got Isaac Paulino, a junior for us. Isaac and Jonah, obviously, they're brothers, and currently I think he's 11th in one poll and maybe a little higher in another one, maybe 9th and 11. The seeds just came out, so it's kind of cool. It's kind of fitting. He'll be the 3rd seed, obviously behind Zach Beckner and Mason Barrett. We'll be 1 and 2. We'll be 3, which means we hopefully get a rematch against Mason Barrett in the semifinals if we make it that far. So I'm excited to see that. Yeah, it was a heck of a match. It was a fun match.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean that one can shake out anyway. I mean that.
Yeah.
I mean I would have that one circled for sure.
Yeah.
But we had opportunities to win. I mean, I think it's good that we felt them. Because Mason's got a couple things he's really, really good at. So to be able to see him a little bit early, get our hands on him, I think, and kind of feel it out, I think is important. So I think Isaac's due.
Well, before we also too, the regional is in Danville, so it's at Averett, right?
Right. Yep. Correct. Yep.
Do you think that helps?
No, I don't think so. I mean, for us, I can't speak for the guys, but I actually like getting out of town a little bit. I mean, and the great thing about Averett, it's out of town, but it's not that far. We're taking an 8-hour bus trip.
Right.
Like we'd have to if we went to Baltimore Wallace, or I mean, it's not 8 hours, but like 6.5 hours, but or how Northern would be close to 8 hours, right? So I think that's the it's been nice that we get to get out of town, but just go not too far away.
So you get out of town, but you're not necessarily breaking your routine.
Right, exactly. They're probably closer to most of our fan base, to be honest with you.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So and then at 133,
Jonah's 2nd seed. He has an argument to be the number 1 seed, and we'll probably push to try to get him the number 1 seed. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I think.
Can you contest that? Is that?
So how it works is each coach has to seed 10 guys each weight. They add up all the points, and then you have to be within 10 points to one above you. So obviously, if they're pretty close, what it does, it helps. It helps kind of collusion when coaches get together. Like, hey, seed this guy really high, so he ends up getting the spot. So if they're somewhat close, then you can challenge it, right? So it makes the seeding meeting or the brackets drawing the brackets and the seeding meeting the night before drag on forever. Because and you have certain arguments, they have a rebuttal, then you get a rebuttal. It's like it takes a little while. So, but I'll have to talk to Blake and Colin and see what they want to do. But we may contest it. So, but then 41, Mark Samuel third, and we knew going in he would be third seed. I think one guy actually seeded him first, which is a little strange. But maybe
We slip that in there.
yeah, would be. I know so, but no, but so Marky will look like he'll get a rematch if if all else being even. Looks like he may get a rematch with Josh Wilson, which will be another fun match.
Yeah.
So
Well, how much? I mean, now that you said that, so how much do you have to talk to the guys about? It's just one match at a time. You can't like do a lot of
sure,
work.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I think we got a pretty level team, but they understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't overlook anybody, and
Right.
we just focus on the match at hand. Our guys do. I think our guys have done a really good job of staying grounded and even keel, and for the most part, and I think shows maturity. Like that's an immature thing to do is to start looking ahead and all that. So we're going in there. We got a job to do, and I think each guy understands that you just got to take it match by match. Things happen, funny things happen. Who knows if you can wrestle Josh Wilson?
Right.
He may not make weight. He may get sick. He may get upset. You just never know. So you just got to take care of what's in front of you, and everything else kind of play out. Let it play out. How it's gonna play out. So,
Just makes it a little easier though if you got to beat one or two good guys, not
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it's easy to kind of play in that where it's like, okay, you got a really tough match
Right.
here, really tough match here.
Yeah. So Dusty Smith, I think he secured the 6th seed. Helped himself out last weekend by stealing back a win from the Ferrum kid, and it kind of propelled him up a little higher. So he'll have a pretty good match. I think he'll have the Bar Wallace kid in the quarters if he wins his first one, and that kid wins his first one. So I like that. We haven't seen him, but I like that matchup for us. I think so. 57, Andrew McDougal. I believe he secured the 5th. He's senior for us. I believe he got the 5th. This is a very deep weight. 57 is for us because I think up till about 2 weeks ago, Andrew was I think 13th or 14th in the country, and now he's 5th seed in his region. And he's a couple matches. Lost a couple matches. As of late, but I think he's finally healthy again, and he's ready to go. So I'm excited about Andrew. We ironed out some things they need to work on, and these last 2 weeks, and I think he's as ready as anybody. So I'm excited. So and that weight's really open. Besides, obviously Petrellas, that's a whole other animal. We'll worry about that one if we get there. But I think everybody else is very beautiful for Andrew, so he knows it. So 65, David Reed, I believe he's 2nd, and I think he's locked in the 2nd as well too. Like I said, we talked about how battle tested he is, and I feel like he's gotten better these last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Shape's gotten better. He's sharp. His technique's sharper. Being able to take a step back and not wrestle Odax, get healthy, use those 3 or 4 days to get healthy. And then, as soon as Odax was over, when some of the other guys got a little bit of time off, we put him through the ringer. Man, that week was really hard on him. Him and McDougal both. So I think their shapes is the best it's ever going to be. So 74, Xavier, just probably didn't get the benefit of the doubt, which I kind of thought he would get the benefit of the doubt being a national qualifier last year. A couple guys jumped him that, I'm looking forward to seeing wrestle those guys, and he's 5th seed and obviously had up and down a year a little bit, but he's really starting to round in shape as well too. I mean, he kind of saw it at Odax a little bit. Mm-hmm. Still wasn't where he needed to be, but I just think this is the body language and stuff. I think he's right where he needs to be right now. So a lot of people didn't think he'd do it last year, and look what he did, and so I'm excited about him. Number 1 seed, it's kind of surprising our only number 1 seed is Vincenzo Corvetto at 184, sophomore for us. Had a really, really good year, put together a great year, and really proud of had some adversity in the middle of the year and kind of overcame that, and he's better because of it, right? So, and he's so he'll be number 1 seed. He's locked into that as well too, and I believe the Washington Lee kid is 2nd. I believe he is locked in the 2nd seed. I'm pretty sure, maybe 3rd seed, but and then the 4th seed I believe is the I think it's the Heidelberg kid, which we've wrestled already this year. So he's in a good position. I'm excited about him. So 97, 100 more. Obviously, I didn't expect a whole lot out of him seeding wise, just because He doesn't have a huge body of work. Didn't feel really right seating him over some guys that he hasn't seen, but really hasn't wrestled a lot of matches. But a lot of other coaches looked at it the other way, So he, he got a couple 5th or 4th seeds in there too. A couple of people seem that high, but he's I think he's 10th seed, and at that point, really 9th and 10th seed. Sometimes like it's not beneficial. Sometimes you're like, I'd rather be just thrown into the mix.
Yeah.
10th seed. Well, 10th seed you go to 2 eventually, but sometimes I know sometimes when our guys are 8th seed, I'm like, I'm not fighting. Like, let somebody take that seed. You know what I mean? So, anyways, but yeah, so he's 10th, and then heavyweight Nick Cook's 8th seed. Obviously he's been wrestling his best he has all year as of late. And even Odax, even though he lost a couple of those, I thought he was right in the match. Where beginning of the year he would have been blown out or pinned, and he's starting to figure things out, which is exciting. So. But this is a crew that just believes in themselves. Obviously we had some adversity this year. We lost a few guys, injuries, that I think would have been contributors. But the group that I have, I'm very comfortable sending them out there and knowing they're ready. And I think we have really, I think we can get as high as 7 to 8 qualifiers to nationals, right? And so we have to wrestle our best. If we do that, obviously, I think we put ourselves in a position to win the regional title, which would be a pretty big deal in our fourth year. So it took 6 years, I think, at Ferrum. We won our region. Is that right? 6 years?
Yeah, maybe 5.
Maybe 5, yeah. So we're right there.
Any questions in the chat?
Yeah, we actually have one from someone you know very well, your
no.
mother.
Oh, no.
She says, as a coach, how do you all ensure that both your team and each individual wrestler peak at the right time for the postseason, given that all 10 athletes have had different journeys throughout the season? And then how do you balance team success with individual preparation to maximize performance in the postseason?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a great question, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Spot. No, I mean, obviously, I think everybody's different. Like everybody's had their own journey to this point in the year. But I think that the special thing we have at Roanoke is we have the ability. Like obviously, I'm a full-time coach. Blake is. Colin is. And so we have a lot of duties to do, right? But it's spread out among us 3. So it really gives us the ability to really kind of get to know each guy on the team and see what makes them tick. And by now, like Colin knows Isaac, he knows Jonah, he knows Marky so well, right? He knows Dusty, and Blake knows, he knows X, he knows Vinny, he knows Hunter Moore, he knows Cook so well, right? And I know Reed McDougal so well that you can kind of read them, you know what I mean, and really get a feel of where they're at, and you can tell if they're kind of down or when we talk about this all the time to the staff, like, hey, why do you think he's down or this, that, and hey, I think this guy's heavy. Even though just by looking at him, sometimes you can tell their body. We're around each other so much, I think you get a read on things, and we're very blessed that we're able to. We got a supportive school that we have 3 full-time coaches that can really really dedicate our time and really lock in. And I think that's what we were talking about earlier about having the other guys out of the room sometimes is really good, because then you can really dial into the guys that are, that it's their time, right, to be the wrestle regionals and stuff. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. So, do we get it right all the time? No, but I do think our track record, usually this is one of our better tournaments of the year. I mean, with the exception, honestly, of my career, with the exception of maybe 1 year, where it was very disappointing. Most years have been very very, very like usually one of our best weekends is this weekend, right? So I think we are doing something right, and we've tweaked it a little bit here and there, and some years you have to really push it up to the regional tournament. A year like this, where I think we have a lot of guys who have some miles on them and are very battle tested and have wrestled a lot of matches, I think it was smarter to kind of pull back a little bit. Not everybody, but I do think, I really feel good about where we're at, and I really trust Blake and Colin. I mean, those guys, going down Monday to the North Carolina State tournament, I didn't sweat it. I'm like, these guys got everything under control. They know what they're doing, and they, above all else, I think they genuinely care for the guys on our team, which is really, really important. And that's the first thing of it. Before guys are going to trust you, they got to know you got to care about them, right? So, and caring about them takes, it looks different for everybody. And sometimes it's tough love too, right? So these guys are easy to train, and sorry, I'm kind of rambling on there, Cheryl, but I hope that answers some of it.
Yeah. And also Chubb's having Scott Bennett throwing lifts
Yep,
for
exactly.
the guys that are not their time right now, and he's full of energy and fun, and make sure that guys are in there lifting. And then obviously too, we got some guys who are taking some years like Mac and Jude. They kind of help the young guys out with leadership now, right? So it's a little easier to kind of like, hey, you help this guy out a little bit. Yeah, maybe come in with the individual on your own or whatever.
I know Mac's been meeting each guy going to regionals, kind of just talking them through it, and being a leader, right? And Jude leads, and I mean, those guys have really emerged. It's been fun to see. Two guys that that are really sitting out this year, right, and kind of training themselves. Seeing them kind of emerge as leader. I think now they have it's not a stressful time, and they're kind of training themselves. They have the opportunity to kind of, I guess, take a step back and kind of look at, evaluate, what they're doing and how they can help the team in other ways. And their leadership has been awesome, right? So, I mean, Jude's been leading Bible studies and helping the guys on the spiritual side of things, and they got Mac that really talking to each individual and trying to get them ready to go and sharing his experience, right? Mac, had a great experience last year. We finally did a great job. Finally made it to nationals and was an All-American. So those guys have a lot to offer. That's only going to get better too as we get more guys, more experience. So really excited about this class coming in. I was talking to Kyle Lee today. Me and Blake were, and how great to see the freshman class coming in is now, coupled with a guy like Jude and Mac that are coming back, right? And probably David Reed coming back. I wonder if that is she on this?
Angie, you on here?
Angie on here. But having that kind of leadership is really, really important. So I think our best days are still way ahead of us. So
yeah, that's the only question for the night. So
all right, so if the regional is in Danville, so if you guys can show up to Danville, it starts on Friday.
11 a.m. on Friday and 11 a.m. on Saturday. So and the finals are at 3:30 on Saturday.
Okay,
so that's a nice final time.
Yeah,
that's real nice.
Yeah.
If you get down there on Friday, the social.
Yep, we have a social 6 p.m. and at Joe and Mama's or Mima's. Yeah. Have you been there? Oh, okay. You say like you did. Okay. I was like, all right, man.
I just know what Mama's.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'd love to have anybody wants to come, and obviously there's no charge, just come and hang out, and hopefully celebrate the first day of success. And I think it's gonna be a fun, very fun time. I'm looking so looking forward to it. So it's gonna be fun.
And there is a way you can watch online, right?
There is, so, yep. You can go on Track Wrestling. It's on Track Wrestling, and then So the best thing is probably just to come watch. I mean, it's not that for people in Virginia,
right? Exactly.
There's not a whole lot of times where you get like a big time tournament like this. I mean, it's a big deal, right? It's a big regional tournament. So, and that constellation, or the semifinals, and then the third and fourth place match are some of the best wrestling you'll see because there's a lot on the line, right? Semifinals, obviously, you win that one, you punch your ticket. The third and fourth place match that is a stressful match. I mean, like we had 3 of them last year, I believe.
Yeah. Been there twice.
Yep. Yeah. So, like,
come on out.
Finally punched the ticket to see you.
I didn't win it.
Yeah. So,
And we got shirts for sale too. You guys show them on the screen there. Yep. Yeah, you guys can reach out to me. We'll bring them to nationals and regionals, all that stuff.
Yep.
Want to buy some shirts?
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jake, you got any further questions?
No, I think we're ready to just see what the weekend holds. And
Absolutely.
I just want to say I'm rooting for McDougal. I mean, he's so close.
Yep.
Like we've had him on the podcast. McDougal, this is the year. I mean, he's punching the ticket.
Yep.
So
got a good feeling about it.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So, but anyway, guys, you best of luck. We're rooting you on, and
probably come back 2 weeks. National preview.
Yeah, national preview
absolutely.
in a couple
weeks. We got 7, 8 guys to talk about.
Be crowded right here. Yeah.
Before you guys head out to Rhode Island. So.